Okay, I think we're live, and we are live. Welcome to the Essential Talent Podcast, and today I have some amazing guests. I'm really, really excited about this. We've got Emma Clifton, we've got Kelly. We've got Alice O'Connell, and we've got Nicky Dewe. Correct?
Yeah.
We're off to a great start already. And what's also exciting for people that watch this is that I've never interviewed more than one person at a time. So this will probably be a train wreck, but as always, it should be some fun. I've given Banjo some bacon and sausages, everybody, so we're hoping that he's not going to bark, but we can't guarantee that. So I'm keen to know, this is all about Capsule and CapsuleNZ.com. And I saw these guys interviewed a few times, and I've read a few stories, and I'm just like, wow, this is so cool. I mean, you can imagine in 10, 15 years, people going, oh, so when did you guys start the business? And oh, yeah, during a pandemic. I mean, no pressure. So who's going to start off how this, in fact, let's get some background first on you people. Let's chat to Emma. Emma, can you give me some background on what you've done previously to Capsule?
Sure.
Cap.
So I've been in magazines for about 14 years. My first job was at the New Zealand Women's Weekly as a sub-editor, which is where I first met Nicky Dewe, Capsule co-member. And then I moved over to Cream magazine, where my editor was Alice O'Connell. And then I moved to Bauer, where I was at Next and Good Health Choices and Australian Women's Weekly. And that's where I knew Kelly from APN as well. So we've all worked together for over 10 years.
Fantastic. Okay, Kelly, your turn.
I started at New Zealand Women's Weekly when I was 20, so I've been there I was there for almost a decade, and it was my first job out of university. I got an internship there, and I loved it, and I pretty much never left until they made me. And
okay, we'll get to that shortly.
So now I obviously worked alongside Alice for a long time. She was the editor of New Zealand Women's Weekly, and I was the deputy. And I worked with Nicky Dewe at the Weekly as well, and worked alongside Emma. So yeah.
Okay, Nicky.
So I was the editor-in-chief of Next magazine and of Good Health and Wellbeing for Australia and New Zealand. And so I started out at AA Directions actually. But I also worked at Women's Weekly, and I was the editor of Little Treasures, the parenting magazine, for 3 years. So yeah, and then, obviously shit hit the fan, if I'm allowed to say that. And here we are, and now we're
Nicky, it's not that kind of show. I'm just shocked. I think we're going to have to cut the whole interview short. Okay, and last but not least, Alice O'Connell.
Yeah, I started at TVNZ when I was about 20. I worked online there, and I got made redundant there. I must have been about 20 or 21, so not my first time being made redundant this time. But after that, I went straight to Cream magazine, where I met the lovely Emma Clifton. And Cream, of course, was a teen mag. I was there for about 9 years. I loved it. But I think it must have happened when, was it one of the Jonas brothers announced that his wife was pregnant? And I really seen the whole life cycle of a little Jonas brother. So it was time to go off and do something new. And went across to New Zealand Women's Weekly, where I met some of these other lovely characters. And then, I got to experience redundancy all over again. And what follows? It's something magical.
Can I just bathe in my own glory temporarily? I'm very impressed with how this interview is going so far. I've got to say, look at this. Okay, so you're all obviously fantastically talented people. Those are big gigs that you've had. And as you said, Nicky, the shit hit the fan. So how did the whole Capsule idea come together? Who's gonna kick this off for me? Come on, fight, everybody. Sorry,
Kelly, you should tell that story.
So we, so obviously with Bower pulling out of the New Zealand market where we all were working, we didn't have, we all found ourselves without a job. And after a few weeks of kind of feeling sorry for ourselves and drinking a shit ton of wine and watching really, really bad Netflix, eventually we realized that we really just missed writing. That's what we love to do. That was the core of our jobs. And we missed having that platform. With our titles reached more than 1 million people. And, obviously Capsule doesn't quite have that yet, but, we really, really miss telling stories of New Zealanders and New Zealand women. So we kind of got our shit together and realized that we really wanted to do something for ourselves. We wanted to write for our own ages. We wanted to do something a little bit different. And so we pulled Capsule together. I realized today we pulled Capsule together in 2 weeks. So it was from the start of where we were like, yep, let's do it. What is this going to look like? And then we built the website. We figured out the story plans. We populated it with about 20 stories. And then it was literally 4 weeks ago today that we launched the site.
It really is incredibly brave what you've done, I think. But then, in saying that, when you have a look at the website and have a look at how much talent there is between you, it's brave, but it's kind of, I think I mentioned to Kelly the other day, is that, I've had a lot to do with different businesses. I've run media operations, and you come across different businesses, and you get the feeling pretty early on whether or not something is going to be successful or not. It's usually it's almost always got to do with the people, but also the vision and the enthusiasm. And I can just tell Capsule is going to be just absolutely massive. It really is. And this Banjo started. Yeah, started. Just ignore him. So yeah, I mean, please go and check this the website out, because it's just the whole way it's laid out, and the writing is just really beautiful. So who can chip in with some more info on Capsule and what the vision is? Emma, do you want to do that? Come and join the conversation.
Sure. Well, I think the thing that I really loved about Capsule is that so far nobody has said no to us and being involved with Capsule. Because when we started, it was like, sure, we'll do a website. And then we thought we would just do it in the dark for a couple of months, and as Nicky once said, our mums would look at it and that would be great, and then it would just fly under the radar, and then it's kind of been bigger than we expected, and as a result we've been very lucky in that people have said yes to us, which is really good, and it's a really nice point of difference, I guess, that we are all female, which is great, and we've been very lucky in who has reached out to us. It's been really good.
Oh, that's awesome. Alice, what is the vision for Capsule? Like, if you, and I know it's a bit cheesy, everyone goes, where do you want to be in 5 years' time? But what is the vision for it? Where do you want to take this?
Well, I guess that's something that we've been talking about a lot recently, because as Emma said, that this was just sort of something that we were doing as an outlet, really, and it happened in the middle of the pandemic lockdown. So we really, what else were we going to do with our time and our skills and to keep our sanity? And then we're just sort of looking at it from not too far down the track, but just sort of short-term goals as to where we want to be. But as you said, I mean, I think there's a really good place for this within the media landscape, because there aren't a lot of places now that are telling women's stories, the stories of females in New Zealand. And those are really important stories to be told and to share our experiences with one another and to be able to connect with one another. I mean, this lockdown period has taught us more about how important that connection is. So I think we just want to build on that and keep telling stories and be the go-to place for women to go to hear those stories and to talk about their own issues.
Nicky, tell me, what is the target audience? Is it all women, or is it a certain age group that you're targeting, or?
Well, I think one of the key things is that we weren't actually sort of targeting anyone in particular. We just wanted to tell our stories, and we thought because they mattered to us and they resonated with us that they would for other people too. Naturally it is mostly women, and they're pretty much, from what we can see from our data, they're largely sort of 24 to 44.
Yes.
But there's still skew either side, more upwards than downwards. But yeah, I think the key thing is it's not so much the targeting as it's just that kind of authenticity that obviously connects with people.
Yes.
But anyone's welcome, we're not setting out to reach anyone in particular. It's just if this matters to us, and if it matters to you too, then that's fantastic.
Kelly, can you tell us some stories that are sort of being featured on the website now that may be of interest to people watching?
Yeah, sure. We're very eclectic in our offering, but we're finding that's a really great point of difference. It really is a truly online magazine in the sense that it does have a lot of the similar content to some of the things we were doing for our individual titles. But you've got everything in there. You've got some really great opinion pieces that we've all written about various topics that annoy us and inspire us. We've got some travel content in there at the moment that's going really well, domestic travel, especially with the state of the nation at the moment. We have stories on female erotica. We have stories on beauty. We have fashion. We have what else do we have? So much, I can't remember.
You have a story on London calling. What's that about? Many Kiwis packed up their flats and flew back from the UK as COVID-19 took hold, but what is life like right now for the ones who stayed?
Yeah, so we wanted to reach out to a few Kiwis who were living overseas to find out, what it's like for them, because there's never been more of a sort of discrepancy between in some ways we're all much more, in the same boat, but certainly with New Zealand kind of moving towards a COVID-free status. But there's lots of Kiwis around the world who are still in lockdown or who are having all sorts of other experiences. So it's just a way to get all those different voices through and hear how they're getting on.
Anything else anyone wants to talk about Capsule that you want to mention about Capsule? Here's your opportunity to tell our little audience.
It's really good.
Angel, it's really good. It's really good. Oh, I love it. Good on you. It is really good. And do you know what? I just think it's I know that you guys are busy, so I'm not going to keep you much longer. But I just think it's really gutsy what you're doing. It really is. To do that, as I said, in the middle of a pandemic, that's just so awesome. And I really encourage people to go and check the website out. I've just put it down here. I think I've spelled it correctly and got the website right. CapsuleNZ.com. It's just really cool, and it's I just think it's fantastic what you're doing.
Thank you.
It's been 4 weeks since we launched it, and we're so happy with the way it's all gone, and we're just so grateful for all of the help we've had from mates and strangers who've reached out and said, hey, I own a video company. We'll do a free video for you because we're not very busy at the moment. We've had people helping with websites and logos and tech support and SEO. So it's been really, really great. But we're also, we're pretty, without sounding arrogant, we're pretty proud of ourselves for what we've managed to do.
You should be.
In the space of 4 weeks, because none of us had any idea what writing for a website would be like in terms of the technical side of things. And and we're a one-man band at the moment. We're doing everything. We're applying to advertising pitches, we're writing press releases, we're troubleshooting, we're doing it all. But it's been amazing.
I'm going to try and persuade these 4 incredibly talented women to actually join Essential Talent and be speakers as part of Essential Talent. But you shouldn't mention this thing on a live interview. It's really unfair. So I'll let them ponder over that and then apply the pressure. But thank you guys. Thanks so much for joining us today. And it's just awesome what you're doing. It's going to be just an absolute success. There's just no question about it. So thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.